Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today's a wood shop day. Yay. See, I have a very complicated relationship with woodworking. I like it, and also I really hate it. You'll probably see what I mean when the tools start flying. Anyways, today I've got to finish up some shelves. Not finish up. I haven't even started. I got to make some shelves. They're kind of like a workbench for my wife's sewing room. A couple of years ago, we turned what used to be my son's room into my wife's sewing room. And I had promised her that I would take these leftover pieces of plywood and turn them into some nice fold down bench space for her to lay things out. And of course, I haven't done that, so I guess I'll do this. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I should be able to make something. Yeah, something. And here's where we're at with this project. So what I want to do, this is that nice piece of plywood upside down. So on the bottom, I'm just going to build a frame, like a perimeter frame, maybe a cross brace. And then I'm going to put a couple of hinges. Idea is when you want it, you just pull it up and there'll be like a prop rod that falls down to the floor, to hold it up there. And then when you don't want it, you just flip the leg up, drop it down, it folds up against the wall. Take up a lot less space, let's put it that way. And it should be really nice, flat. Once I get this frame done, it'll give it some backbone and hold that plywood nice and flat. And I think the part about woodworking projects I love, I told you it's a love-hate. I think the part I love is buying woodworking tools. I'm really good at it, and I enjoy it. So I bought this thing, it's a Kreg jig. So what this is for pocket screws, and it allows you to join these corners without having to like drill and dowel and all that kind of stuff. It takes actual skills because I don't have those. So I bought this thing. I don't completely know how to use it. It seems self-explanatory. The only part about it I know is step one. Oh, I missed the garbage, but that's where that's going. But we'll see. I think I can figure this out. So, and I found this lumber that's only rotten a little bit. That should be great. Too cheap to go, buy like brand new lumber. It's not really a brand new lumber kind of project. Those are for like the front room, just the fancy stuff. So this is going to be okay. What I got to do, I got to rip these boards down because they have this tongue on them for some reason. And I think they're windowsill, maybe. Whatever. I'll square them up, rip them to, whatever size nice board I can get out of them. I'll get them all the same. And then I'll start thinking about, what lengths to cut them. And then we'll start figuring out this thing here. That's neat. All right, this seems like a great time to remind you that my videos don't have the safety stuff in them, So if you just watch that and you said, where's your this and why are you that and this isn't a real, deep thing, that's fine. Feel free to comment and tell me just how wrong I am. Anyways, be careful, put the safety squints, whatever you got to do. If you're the guy that likes to do the stuff right, then yeah, be safe. Just remember, you don't have to buy things to be safe, right? You can do unsafe things in a safe way and be safe. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I mean, I still have all 10 of them. Both my balls work. Both my ear balls work. Anyways, enough of that. I've got 2.5 inch boards here that are okay. They're okay. This one's didn't quite clean up at 2.5. I'll probably maybe just use that for. I don't even know if I need. That might not be enough. I do have some other boards I can rip down if I need to. I think probably a smart thing for me to do would be to figure out what I need, so that while this is set up to rip, I can keep ripping if I need more. So I guess I'll guess I'll try to do a little bit of, oh, look at that, my family crest. Try to do a little ciphering here, a little, maybe some with the numbers and the math, doing math. Back piece, I'm gonna have to, I think I gotta think about the hinges. I just bought some cheap hardware store hinges, but I think I may mortise them in. There'll be 3 hinges per piece. Oh, and I forgot to rip the other piece, which is gonna mount to the wall, which will have the other half of the hinge on it. So I may have to rip some more boards. I do have one more board I can rip. So, you know, if nothing else, we're making kindling. That's, gotta have, you know, gotta keep the fire going. But I guess now I gotta figure out how to use that crooked hole maker. All of these pieces are gonna get crooked holes in the ends. And then these also need crooked holes here to hold the top on, and then that one will need some to hold the top on, and I think that's it. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. Surprisingly, I realized partway in that I'm gonna have to make a right and a left hand, because I always like a reveal. I like to set things back from the edge, and the reason for that is because I'm bad at woodworking. When you try to make things line up perfectly, they don't, and then it shows, you know, because you've set it right at or right close to the edge, so it shows. But if you set things back, some people call it a reveal. I call it covering up shoddy workmanship, but you set it back from the edge, you don't notice when things are off a little bit. But with these two, when she flips both of them up, I want them to be touching in the center. So I've got to make a right and a left hand, and one edge of each one has to be right on the edge here, so that these will be touching each other. And the reason for that is there's a chance there's a real solid chance that these probably won't be perfectly flat, and it would probably be nice if we could maybe throw a little clamp on here to hold 2 of them together, so that they act like one work surface. You know what I mean? They're smooth, flat on top, and they're locked together. So if she's working, you know, near the center, the one of them isn't moving without the other. I don't know much about sewing, but I think that would be handy for, you know, cutting, doing other sewing things. Wow. Slicker than snot on a brass doorknob. Look at that. That's pretty cool. That's a handy dandy tool. I'll show you how that works. All right, so that's our board. And we want to put those pocket holes in the end, right? So I clamp it. I don't know, I suppose you wouldn't have to. If you really wanted to hold it, you probably could. But it's got the fence, it's got the stops built right into it. You just butt them up again. You set it to the size board that, it's all really simple. Like throw the directions away, simple. It all depends on what thickness board you're going into, which in my case is all 3/4 no matter what. And so you set this thing to 3/4. Let me show you. These guys here move, and whichever hole you cover up, that's the size you're doing, and they click in. Okay. So you set that to 3/4, and that sets it the right distance from the end. As long as you use the right screws, it comes out right. Come on now. Now I'm just eyeballing the middle. I got a pretty good eye. It doesn't really matter how well centered it is in my case. And and then I'm going to screw into that other board and you're never going to see it or whatever. So I don't really care. So got to remember that. So once you got it there, pretty simple. Get this guy started. And the trick about this is, people struggle with things like this, is don't fight it. Get it in there. You know, don't start your drill out here and try to ram it in there. That's going to be ugly. Get it slid in there. You can kind of feel your way in, you know. When it slides nice, you know that you're straight. So you back it off just a little, start it up. You go to the stop, which is also 3/4 of an inch. Isn't that clever? When you do different thicknesses, you loosen the set screw and move it. It's a pretty slick system. They've made it somewhat childproof. That's it. The party's over. That's pretty cool. New toy. Now I'm a woodworker. Amazing. You want to do, so I also want to do some edge holes. So these guys come apart somehow. Yeah. And you can just take the one. And there again, my placement doesn't really matter that much. I kind of laid it out in thirds. So this board has 3 holes in it to hold it to the top. But it doesn't really matter that much. I'm pretty easy to get along with. Again, you don't fight with it. You just kind of ease it in there. Now that one, you know, if this were a fancy piece of woodworking, I would have just realized, whoops, 2 inches is not enough, right? Because that kind of blows out a little bit there, but there again, I don't care. Unless you want to crawl under them, you're not going to see it. That's how I like to determine how fussy I need to be on a project, is how much are you going to see it? This one I'm just going to guesstimate the middle. And then this last one, I'll go to the inside of the mark with the edge. Sure. Yeah, that board is done. They cut a lot cleaner when you're going end grain than they do across grain, that's for sure. Those are kind of ugly. But I'm not very good at this, so it's okay. I'm going to do all the rest of these and then we'll put her together. I just put this edge one on here while you weren't looking just to make sure everything went okay, because I don't know of what I do. But this is pretty slick. I really like this thing. I'm sure, like, you know, real woodworking people are going, oh, good grief, he's using one of those. But you know what? It's pretty cool. And gives it, I mean, that's pretty sturdy. I put a little bit of glue on. I don't know if you have to or not, but I figured it can't hurt. I mean, that's 3 screws, and that thing is on there nice and sturdy, and it hasn't even got the corners tied in yet. I screwed up here. I didn't. This is something about woodworking makes me not plan ahead. But anyways, I did these ends, and that wasn't what I intended. I did these, and that's what I wanted to do, was to screw it in there. But by mistake, I did these ends also. I'm hoping there's enough meat there that the screw will still bite into enough. I guess if it feels like it's no good, I'll take it off and make a new board, but I think it'll probably be okay. I'm just putting a real thin streak of goo on there. That's fancy. Yeah, watch this. It's pretty fun. That's it. Party's over. I don't know how many Duggas they're supposed to get. I'm going for like 12. 8, 10. 10 Duggas. Oh, look at it. I put my clamp right in the way. That's what I'm talking about. I annoy myself with this stuff. Hard to hate that, you know? And these corners, tie them right together. That was too many Duggas, I think, but you know what? Those corners are good. Because that one was Duggaed up pretty heavy. She still didn't strip out. Nice. I like that. That is really nice and sturdy. Town Tinker approved. I dig it. Yeah, I like that. I just gotta finish putting these other 3 together. And maybe a little bit of sanding and sprucing. And then I gotta throw the other one up here and remember to make a left hand, which I'll probably make as a right hand, and that won't work. And I'll take this all back apart and move the frame over and re-screw it, and then maybe it'll work. I kind of like that. That's really sturdy. You know, and I wouldn't argue, they're really ugly on the inside, but can't see them at all on the outside. Pretty slick. Now my only thing left to do here is the hinges. So I got hinges. When this thing is on the wall, of course you got to picture this is upside down, but when this is on the wall, that's how it'll be when it's folded out to work. And then when you want to drop it down, it'll go like that. So I'd like to mortise those hinges so they're flush, so that when it's folded out to work, this is, you know, the wood and the wood are together. It just seems like it'd be stronger than having it sit on the hinges, maybe. I don't know. But that's what I'm going to try to figure out how to do. I think if I just take that and clamp it there, once I center it, I can just take a saw or whatever and mark the hinges and chisel out a little slice, and we're done. Yeah? No? I don't know. There, that one's done. Mostly sanded, ready for paint and installation. I want to get the other one put together here, but I wanted to point out, I had an awful time. I did a terrible job, let me put it that way, putting these hinges on, mortising them in there. So I decided I'll be smarter this time. Never pass up a chance to get smarter. So I got these on here. I got them marked out where the hinges are. I set my saw so it's cutting just the depth of the hinge. I'm gonna throw these on here and cut those notches for those hinges before I put the thing all together. Smarter every day. I'll just hold it square on here, slice through there. Yeah, every day's a school day. See? There we go. So my wife got the bottoms painted, and then I flipped them over, finished the tops, and I put a little stain on. I just like to bring out the grain of the wood a little bit, even though it's just plywood. I just think it looks better with a little bit of light stain. And then I put a coat of urethane on. Well, I wanted to get that on this morning before church, and then after that, it should be, I got a little heat here. We'll turn that down and leave it, and hopefully this afternoon I can get them mounted on the wall, and this project will be done. I put a coat of urethane on too. I don't know if you noticed, I put a very, very light coat on, and there's a very high-tech reason for that, and that is the can was almost empty. So, gotta be sparing with that stuff. Probably a 10-year-old can of urethane that should have been thrown away, but hey, look at project done. So we'll let this dry, and we'll get these put up, and hopefully we can check one off the list.